Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about Think and Grow Rich, specifically towards the end of the book, The Six Ghosts of Fear. Right. So in the book Think and Grow Rich, if you guys don't know that book, it's a book written by Napoleon Hill. It's a very popular self-help book, and basically he talks about he gets at the time, this was in the 1920s, Andrew Carnegie, who was one of the richest people in the world. What he did was is that he told Napoleon Hill for the next, I think it was like 20 to 40 years, he interviewed 50 of the most wealthiest people in the world, right, at that time. So he interviewed guys like Henry Ford. He tells a story about Edward C. Barnes, who wanted to work with Thomas Edison, right? And so the two big things that I want to talk about is what he says in the first chapter and the end chapter. The first chapter, he says thoughts are things, right? And if you guys have been following like any kind of law of attraction, manifestation, any kind of anything, you'll know that that's true when he talks about that, right? But what I really want to talk about is he talks about the six ghosts of fear, right? And the six ghosts of fear are it's the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of old age, the fear of death, and there's a couple other ones, right? But what I want to talk about today is the number one fear is not the fear of death. It is not even the fear of old age or even the fear of ill health that he talks about in the book. The number one thing is the fear of poverty, right? And so the reason why I bring this up is because I want you guys to understand that you can still make it, right? I want you guys to understand that you can still have an abundant life, right? Now, I know hearing this from a YouTube guy that, that doesn't have a professional background or a thumbnail on this video, once I upload it, you're going to be like, what is this guy talking about, right? Well, I've seen it in my own life, right? I've been able to acquire some residual income, so I'm chilling. But what I want to say is that I know that there's other people out there that are struggling, right? And what I'm about to say, and I don't mean to make light of your situation, you know, but most of it has to deal with your mindset, right? And also at the same time, you have to understand that what I'm about to say is going to be controversial as well, is because what we've been told about the world and how we interact and the way things are going have been a lie, right? You have to understand that the powers that be, the corporations, the government, whatever, right, lie to you all the time, right? So listen to me when I tell you this, that you can become wealthy. Okay, you can have health, wealth, and relationships with great people. And what it comes down to is pushing past those fears, right? The fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of poverty. You have to make it in this life, right? God can use you more when you're wealthy than he can use you when you are poor. That is absolute fact. If you're a giver like I am, right, and you give within your means to people that are in a bad situation, he can use you better, right? You could be a better blessing to the world, right? The second thing is the fear of criticism, right? You should not be afraid to be criticized. If you're not being criticized, you're not doing something right. I forget the famous Aristotle quote, but he said, if you don't want to be criticized, do nothing and be nothing, basically, right? And the third is fear is false evidence appearing real, right? It's okay to have fear, but also too, I'm gonna have a Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant mindset, rest in peace. Fear means you're ready, right? Fear means that you can go and do the things that you want to do. If you want to be an entrepreneur, go be an entrepreneur. If you want to travel the world, travel the world. If you want to go talk to that girl and date her, go date her. Because if you look at the algorithms that we all ingest or look at every day, they're all fear based, right? There's not a lot of things. That's why it's called social media, right? Media is inherently negative. 85 to 90% of media is negative, right? So why do you think the powers that be took it from the TV and the media, right? They took it from the TV and put it on our phones, right? You guys remember, if you're a millennial, you remember that social media was just kind of a thing where you post pictures and you kept up with your family on Facebook, but it transformed, right, to rot your mind, right? So I want you to understand that you can get over the six ghosts of fear. You can become rich. You can think and grow rich, right? It's called manifestation. And so, and I know I'm going to get the people, well, the, you know, with the rich man and the poor man and what Jesus said, right? Let me explain something to you right now. And this is what's also being talked about in the science of getting rich. And I'm going to do that in my next video. Is there is no deity telling you that you cannot be successful. God actually wants you to be successful, right? And so that's my message to you today. I'm going to try to keep it under 6 minutes. So go and accomplish those dreams. Make a goal, make a plan. Who can you serve today? The more people you help, the richer you're going to be spiritually, and the more you're going to be able to attract the opportunities that are going to give you the money that you desire. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the next video. See you later.